Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is your first sample question on the Federal Skilled Worker Program. So remember that these sample questions are really great because they're going to really help you to take all of that general information and put it into the context of a scenario you might encounter on your exam. Of course, reading through those cases on the bottom of this page, that's really beneficial for you as well, just because it really helps you put kind of a person's story on those various laws that you are looking at. So let's move on and take a look at this first sample question for you. So here we have Lorena. Lorena would like to immigrate to Canada and has already made an express entry profile. She tells you that she is perfectly fluent in English and French, holds 2 bachelor's degrees, and would be willing to work in any province. She also mentions that if she receives a provincial nomination, she will definitely settle in the nominating province for at least the next 10 years. Lorraine tells you that her husband works seasonally as a groundskeeper at a university during the summer months, and she has been working for a clothing company called Pants 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 for the last 3 years. She tells you that she initially joined the team as a wholesale buyer and worked in this role for 18 months before being promoted to a management position as the wholesale trade supervisor for 9 months. She was then given another managerial position as a corporate sales manager, where she has been working for the past 9 months. Upon researching the jobs that Lorena has held, you notice that her first job was at a NOC B level, and she has worked at a NOC O level since then. Would you advise Lorena that she meets the minimum requirements of the Federal Skilled Worker Program? And then we take a look at our potential answers. So we have A, no, because she only has 2 periods of 9 months at a NOC O level. B, no, but she does meet the requirements of the Federal Skilled Trades Program because of her NOC B experience. C, yes, because she meets the minimum requirements of this stream. And D, yes, because her 2 NOC O roles total 18 months. Okay, so as usual, if you want to press pause so you can dig through the scenario to get the important pieces of information, you can go right ahead. So let's continue on. We'll take a look at some of those important pieces of information that should have jumped out at you when you're taking a look at this. So we have her language ability, her education, and the fact that she would be willing to work in any province. As we dig a bit further, we can see she has a husband. You can assume that's an accompanying husband, of course, and his role as well. Then we get into her work experience. So she's 3 years in total. As a wholesale buyer, she's been there for 18 months, and then a couple of the other roles that she has been working in, and the time she's been working there as well. And the great part here is that we can see how her role translates to a NOC. So now as we dig a little bit deeper, we can see that when we see her language ability, so it says she's fluent in English and French and holds 2 bachelor's degrees. So we can put that in with her qualifications. Remember that intent, of course, is always really important to take a look at in these scenarios. And in this one, we can see that she's willing to work in any province, and she said that she would probably stay in that province for at least 10 years. We have her husband's information as well. So her spouse works at a NOC CD level. So with that, you might be thinking that it's not really an option for him to immigrate and her come as the adjoining spouse. And then we get into her work experience. She's been working for 3 years. And we have that first role as a wholesale buyer. Now, in this one, she actually had 3 areas of work that are important to understand in this scenario. So we'll split up each one of them. So that first one is as a wholesale buyer for 18 months. The second one is as a wholesale trade supervisor for 9 months. And that third one was as a corporate sales manager for 9 months. Now, the important part here, of course, is that they give you the NOC for these as well. You're not going to have to memorize every single job and understand and know which NOC level it is. If you ever have something like that, it would most likely be a situation like you have here, where they would give you the NOC, or the NOC would be pretty obvious. All right, so we could see that as a wholesale buyer, she worked for 18 months, and that's a NOC B position. In her second role of experience here, we have her working as a wholesale trade supervisor for 9 months, and they give you that as a NOC O. And in her third area of experience, she worked as a corporate sales manager for 9 months, and they give you that as a NOC O as well. So now when we get back to the question and see it as a whole, hopefully this gets a little bit easier for you. So let's take a look at some of the answers, and we will see if we can get the correct answer here. Hopefully you got the correct answer already. So let's explore A as an option for the correct answer. So this one here we have no, because she only has 2 periods of 9 months at a NOC O level. We can verify this, of course, in the scenario. So remember that she has those 2 positions at a NOC O, one of which is the wholesale trade supervisor position that she held for 9 months, and the other, of course, is the corporate sales manager that she held for 9 months. However, remember that when we look at the definition of a federal skilled worker, you have the experience requirements, which of course are in terms of time and role. Now we can see in terms of time, she needs to have 1 year of continuous work experience. And in terms of role, it has to be at a NOC OAB level. And then meeting all the NOC requirements, of course, are important as well. So A is definitely not correct, because having 2 periods of 9 months is part of her work experience. But remember, she has another profession, or another role at a NOC B level, which was as a wholesale buyer for 18 months. So with this, we can see that A is incorrect. Now let's move on to take a look at B. So here in B, you could see that it says no, but she does meet the requirements of the Federal Skilled Trades Program because of her NOC B experience. And in this one, of course, we can see her experience again. Remember, with the Federal Skilled Trades Program, of course, there's the language requirement that's needed. She would definitely exceed that language requirement, of course. But the tricky part with this is that, remember, under the Federal Skilled Trades Program, first of all, it's 2 years of work experience in terms of time, and of course remember that the role is important as well. So it's not of course any NOC B work that counts towards the Federal Skilled Trades Program. It's designated work. So if you remember from the list from the Federal Skilled Trades lesson that we looked at, you have all of those jobs there: welders, plumbers, carpenters, etc., etc., etc. And she was obviously not in that role because she's not in a designated role that would qualify her for the Federal Skilled Trades Program. So with that, we can see that B is incorrect as well. Now we're only left with two options, and we'll explore them both. So let's take a look at D. Now in D we have yes, because her two knock O roles total 18 months. Now when we take a look at her experience again in that scenario, we can see that yes, she has 18 months of total time in those knock O roles because it's 9 months plus 9 months. But when we take a look back at those requirements under the Federal Skilled Worker Program, we can see that again the applicant must have performed one continuous year of knock OA, B, work according to the relevant knock description. This is of course in Regulation 75. With this, of course, we can see that D would be incorrect as well. So you could probably tell that we'll explore the next option if she is actually a good candidate for the Federal Skilled Worker Program. Well, she is, as we'll see, but the reason is not because of those two knock O roles. Okay, so we've broken this down and found the incorrect answers. Let's take a look at the correct answer now. And for this, of course, we have yes, because she meets the minimum requirements of this stream. So we have her language as being fluent in English and French. We have that work experience that we took a look at earlier. And we have her education. So as a minimum requirement, we could see that she does meet those requirements, because remember that a person has to have performed one continuous year of knock OAB work, and that of course is within the last 10 years. We could see that in her case she has far above a CLB 7 in terms of her language score. The minimum for the Federal Skilled Worker Program is a high school diploma. Now that a high school diploma, remember, needs to be Canadian or ECA verified. And of course, if the person meets those minimum requirements, then there would be an assessment on those 67 points. In this case, they don't mention anything about that, so we wouldn't really allow that to play a role in choosing this as the correct answer. So if you had C as the correct answer, a big congratulations, you got this one correct. All right, well, a big thank you for tuning in. You have two more questions remaining, and I hope this one helped you to really verify what is meant by experience in this case, and of course to help you compare this to the other streams that we discussed, which were of course the Canadian Experience class and the Federal Skilled Trades Program. All right, so thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in the next sample question.